Right, now we have our drawing back. We need to understand, in order to analyze, we need to understand first something called the concept of the page. Now, in our instruction, we didn't tell them to do the drawing vertically or horizontally, because these two things have different meaning. If the drawing that's returned to us is in a vertical format, that means the person is active. He or she is self-conscious. They want to improve. They're quite agile. They can't sit at one place and lack hyper focus, but the agility is high. If the drawing returned to us, it's in a landscape format, i.e. horizontal, that means the person is relaxed. Like they like to take their time doing things, sit, understand, and can focus on something for a long time. Right, so that's the concept of page. Now moving on, the page itself, for our purposes of this course and for future videos, we will look at everything in terms of the analysis for horizontal orientation. Okay, now the page itself, let's assume that it's the drawing returned to us was done horizontally, and the page itself can be divided into three parts: the past, the present, the future. Now the past is the leftmost 1/3 part of the page, the middle portion is present, and the rightmost 1/3 portion is the future. Just hang in with me, everything will start making sense once we go through the concept of understanding what each object means, and then we'll bring it all together and look at the drawing as a whole. Okay, now moving on, looking at the concept of the person. Right, now similar to how we divided the page into three parts, we are going to divide the person they drew. It can be even like a stick figure, into three parts. So the top, the head part, is thoughts, and it's also known as upper zone. The middle part is the communication zone or the middle zone. The bottom, the legs part, is the action or the lower zone. Okay, similarly, this is future, present, and past. So wherever on the page we look at the top 1/3 will depict intelligence, the middle will depict communication, and the bottom action plus earning. So remember, we divided the page essentially into 9 parts, 3 parts horizontally and 3 parts vertically. Right, there is something, there is a concept of pastrosity in graphology. Pastrosity means like where the extra flow of ink happens, or someone is doing some sort of shading or putting extra force while coloring and stuff. So wherever the pastrosity is there in the drawing, that means they like to enjoy that aspect of life. Now what that aspect is and what that means, we will learn in future videos with the concept of symbology and all the different components we ask that person to draw, like the sun, the mountain, and stuff. So for now, remember, pastrosity equals the aspect where they like to take their time and enjoy that aspect, and they want to stay there a lot. Okay, the another important aspect in graphology that's going to help us understand these analyze these drawings is called slants. Right, if something is straight at 90 degree, then it's balanced. As soon as it start becoming where I've drawn B, C, and D like acute angles, or going towards the right, that means it's showing impulsiveness or expressiveness in that aspect. Again, if it goes back where G and F are shown, that means they are unhappy, uncomfortable, and unfulfilled in that aspect. So we, for example, if it's sun, or no, if it's a tree that's slanting towards right, so we'll take the meaning of the tree and then add impulsiveness or expressiveness depending on the scenario to give our analysis. Okay, now moving on to the concept of mountain. Mountains mean strength, our ability to solve problems, take on challenges, understand challenges, take and solve them. More the mountains in a drawing, it shows the stability, it shows the presence of guidance, right? I have gone through and done some use cases of where and what the mountains could look like. So let's dive a bit deeper and look at some of those. So case one, so it could be possible that the mountains are at the top of the page, top 1/3 of the page, and they are angular. What angles means? Analysis. So this person is quite analytical, and as opposed to this person which has rounded top, that means they are very casual in what? In solving problems. And again, if the mountains start from here but then don't go towards the end, that means in their past, because remember this is past, in the past they had problems, and they tried to solve them analytically because pointed top. Again, if the mountains are present in just the middle of the page, that means in midlife they had these problems. In the middle, like the present, they had these problems and were quite sudden. And if the mountains are towards the end, that means the problems, they anticipate the problems in the future. But remember, this is quite interesting to note here, is that this mountain reaches the base, right? So it is ending here like that. So they do see problems coming, but they feel that they will end, they will go away. In the last case here, this person does anticipate the problems in the future, but they are not ending because this peak doesn't come down. Okay, I hope this was useful. Today we looked at the meaning of the mountain, touched on a few graphology concepts like pastrosity and slants, and looked at the concept of the person and breaking the page in thirds, like from top to bottom and left to right. I'll come back again soon and explain the meaning of other components on the drawing, like the mountain, the tree, the water body, etc. If you like and if you would like to stay tuned, please subscribe to the channel. Until then, thank you. Bye bye.